Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Suggested Tutorials. Today in this video session, we are going to discuss about the remaining cell organelles which are present in the eukaryotic cell. And now we are going to start with the mitochondria. The mitochondria is sausage or cylindrical in structure. It is sausage or cylindrical in shape. Cylindrical in shape. Where this mitochondria are observed? The mitochondria is observed in the cytoplasm of the eukaryotic cell. And coming to the structure of the mitochondria is a double membrane bond structure. Double membrane bond structure, which means the mitochondria contains two membranes, surrounded by two membranes. So it is called as double membrane bond structure. And coming to the size of the mitochondria, the diameter of the mitochondria ranges from 0.2 to 0.4 μm. Means 0.2 to 0.4 micrometers in diameter and also 1 to 4.1 micrometers in length. These are the measurements of the mitochondria. Coming to the structure of the mitochondria. It is a cylindrical or sausage shaped, and we have already discussed it that mitochondria is a double layer bond structure. The outer layer which surrounds the mitochondria is called as outer membrane, and the inner membrane leads to the formation of number of enfolding like structures. This is the inner membrane and leads to the formation of number of enfolding like structures. These enfolding like structures which are created by the inner membrane of the mitochondria are called as cristae. Cristae. So the enfoldings which are created by the inner membrane of the mitochondria are called as cristae. And inside the inner membrane, the fluid-like substance is present which is completely filled in the inner membrane of the matrix. The matrix is completely filled with the fluid-like substance which is called as matrix. The cristae is completely filled with the fluid-like matrix which is called as matrix. And what are present inside the matrix? What are present inside the fluid-like substance which fills the complete inner membrane? The matrix contains single circular DNA and also granular-like structures. Ribosomes are also present inside the matrix. Along with the ribosomes and circular DNA, RNA molecules are also present. So, what are the components of the matrix? What are the substances that are present inside the matrix? Ribosomes, single circular DNA, RNA molecules, and also proteins are also present inside the matrix. These are the components which are present inside the matrix. Coming to the function of the mitochondria. What is the function of the mitochondria? The mitochondria is called as powerhouse of the cell. The mitochondria is called as powerhouse of the cell. Why it is called as the powerhouse of the cell? Here in the mitochondria, the number of cycles takes place. What are those cycles? Krebs cycle, C3 cycle, C2 cycle. Number of cycles takes place in the mitochondria. And also the energy is released in the form of ATP during the respiration process. ATP. So the energy is released through the mitochondria in the form of ATP. So it is called as powerhouse of the cell. Continuously ATP production happens in the mitochondria. If you want any type of energy, the mitochondria helps for the synthesis of energy in the form of ATP. That's why it is called as the powerhouse of the cell. So this is about the complete structure and function of the mitochondria. And now we are going to discuss about the another cell organelle which is present in the eukaryotic cell, that is the plastid. The plastids are sac-like structures which are observed in the plant cells and also the euglenoids. So the plastids are sac-like structures. Where these plastids are present? The plastids are observed in the plant cell and also in the euglenoids. Euglenoids. What does the plastid contains? The plastid contains number of pigments. Plastid contains number of pigments. So based on the pigments, the plastids are of three types: chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. So the plastids are the sac-like structures and these are present in the plant cells as well as the euglenoids. And the plastids contains number of pigments. Based on the pigments, type of the pigments, the plastids are of three types: chloroplast, chromoplast, and also the leucoplast. Chloroplast. The chloroplast contains a pigment called chlorophyll. The chloroplast contains a pigment called chlorophyll. What does this pigment chlorophyll do? The chlorophyll gives a green color to the plant cells. So the green color of the plant was given by the chlorophyll pigment which was present in the chloroplast. The chlorophyll gives green color to the plants. And coming to the chromoplast. Chromo means, what is the meaning of chromo? They contains other type of pigments, which are the pigments which are present in the chromoplast are xanthophylls and carotenoids. So these are the pigments which are observed in the chromoplast. And what are the pigments that are present in the leucoplast? The leucoplasts are again divided into three main types. What is the function of the leucoplast? The leucoplasts are colorless. They does not contain any type of pigments. These are colorless. Here the chloroplast gives green color to the plants, whereas the chromoplast gives orange or red color to the euglenoids or other substances or other organisms. So red or orange color is promoted by the chromoplasts through xanthophylls or carotenoids. And here the leucoplasts are colorless pigments. They does not contain any type of pigments. These are colorless. And what is the function of the leucoplast? They stores food or nutrients. The main function of the leucoplasts are storing of nutrients. By depending upon the what type of nutrients they are getting stored, again the leucoplasts are divided into three: amyloplast, eleoplast, and aleuroplast. Again I am repeating, the leucoplasts are the colorless, and what is the main function of the leucoplast means they stores nutrients, and also based on the type of nutrients the leucoplasts are storing, the leucoplasts are divided into amyloplast, aleuroplast and also eleoplast. What is the amyloplast? What are the type of nutrients that are stored in the amyloplast? The amyloplast stores carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are stored in the amyloplast like starch, and also eleoplast. What are the type of nutrients that are stored in the eleoplast? The fats and oils are stored in the eleoplast. Fats and oils get stored in the eleoplast. Coming to the aleuroplast. Aleuroplast stores proteins. So, based upon the type of nutrients that stores by the leucoplast, they are divided into amyloplast, eleoplast and aleuroplast. Amyloplast stores carbohydrates and eleoplast stores fats and oils. Coming to the aleuroplast, they stores nutrients or proteins. Okay, this is about the complete structure and the functions of the plastids. And now we are going to deal with the chloroplast structure in detail. Already we have discussed the chloroplast contains a pigment called as chlorophyll which promotes the green color to the plants. The chloroplasts are circular, disc shaped, or they may be also in oval shaped. The chloroplasts are double membrane structure. Similar to that of the mitochondria, the chloroplasts are also double membrane bond structure. Double membrane bond structure. Let us see the structure of the chloroplast. The chloroplast is oval shaped or circular shaped, and it is a double membrane bond structure, contains two membranes, and the layer which is created by the inner layer, this is the outer layer and this is the inner layer. The space which is created by the inner membrane is called as stroma. Again I am repeating, the chloroplast is a oval shaped and it is a double layered structure. The outer layer is called as outer membrane and the inner layer is called as inner membrane. The space which is created by the inner membrane is called as stroma. This is the stroma. This was the space created by the inner membrane. This complete space is called as stroma. What does this stroma contains? The stroma contains small sac-like structures. Small sac-like structures. These sac-like structures are called as thylakoids. Thylakoids. What are the function of these thylakoids? The sac-like structures which are observed in the stroma of the chloroplast are called as thylakoids. Inside the thylakoid cells, chlorophyll pigments are present. So what is the function of the chlorophyll here? The chlorophyll gives green color to the plants. So again I am repeating, the inner space which is created by the inner membrane is called as stroma. The stroma contains sac-like structures which are called as thylakoids. Inside the thylakoids contains chlorophyll pigments which promotes green color to the plants. And here the thylakoids are again in pile like coins like structure. When we arrange the coins one by one upon the other, we observe a pile like structures like this. So parallelly arranged thylakoids are observed in the stroma. These parallelly arranged pile-like structure. This pile-like structure is called as granum. Grana or granum. So the thylakoids which are arranged in a complete stalk-like or pile-like structure so called as grana or granum. And here the thylakoids of one granum gets connected to the other thylakoids of other. This is one granum and this is the another granum. Here the thylakoids of one granum gets connected to the another thylakoids of another granum through structure called as stroma lamella. Again I am repeating. The sac-like structures which are observed in the stroma is called as thylakoids. The thylakoids contains chlorophyll pigment. And again the thylakoids get pile-like structures, which means the thylakoids are arranged one upon the other like stack-like structures. These pile-like structures are called as grana or granum. Thylakoids of one granum gets attached to the another granum thylakoid through the membrane called as stroma lamella. Tube-like structures which are called as stroma lamella. So this is about the complete structure of the chloroplast. And now we are going to discuss about the another cell organelle which is present in the eukaryotic cell, that is the ribosome. Ribosomes. The ribosomes are granular-like structures. They appear as small granules. The small granular-like structures which are observed in the eukaryotic cell are called as ribosomes. Ribosomes. And these granular-like structures are observed by George Plastids. George Plastids. George Plastids was the first to discover the ribosomes in the eukaryotic cell. And coming to the structure of the ribosomes are granular-like structures and the ribosomes contains two subunits. The structure of the ribosomes looks like this. They are formed with two subunits. The upper subunit is called as large subunit and the lower region is called as small subunit. So totally the ribosome is prepared with two subunits, large subunit and small subunit. What are the components that forms the ribosomes? What are the components that are present in the ribosomes? The ribosomes are made up of RNA, proteins, etc. So the ribosomes are prepared with RNA as well as the proteins. Completely the RNA molecules and also the proteins leads to the formation of the ribosome molecules. And the ribosomes contains two subunits. Upper region is called as the larger subunit and the lower region is called as a smaller subunit. Most of the eukaryotic cell contains 80S type of ribosomes. And in the prokaryotes, the type of ribosomes which are present are 70S type of ribosomes. Coming to the 80S type of ribosomes. What are the smaller subunit and larger subunit? This is the structure of the 80S type of ribosome. The larger subunit contains 60S type and the smaller subunit contains 40S type. What is the meaning of S here? S stands for Schwarzschild unit. What is the meaning of Schwarzschild unit? The Schwarzschild unit indirectly gives the measurement of density and size of ribosome. Here the measurement of ribosome is indirectly given by the unit called Schwarzschild unit. S stands for Schwarzschild unit. So here in the 80S type of ribosome, the larger subunit is prepared with 60S and the smaller subunit is prepared with 40S. Coming to the 70S type of ribosome, this is the larger subunit and this is the smaller subunit. The larger subunit is prepared with 50S and the smaller subunit is prepared with 30S. This is the complete structure of the ribosomes. And here the ribosomes are contains number of enzymes also. Number of enzymes are also present in the ribosomes. What is the function of the ribosome? The ribosomes are helpful for the process of protein synthesis. So formation of proteins takes place through the ribosomes. So this is about the complete structure and function of the ribosome. Hope you all have a clear idea about the cell organelles that which we are discussed in this video. If you like this video, hit a like button, share to your friends and subscribe to such tutorials. Thank you.